These are the adventures of a temporarily out of work wife and mother, and this is Weekend Reset 15, Part 2. So while that chicken was soaking in that vinegar and water solution, I went ahead and started putting all of those dishes up. Now, my sunshine did these dishes, honey, and I don't really know what he was doing. I mean, they got clean, but I have no idea how he managed to take up as much space as he did. I don't know how he managed to put Tupperware in places that it did not go. I don't really know what was going on here because it's been a while since anybody other than me has been responsible for cleaning this kitchen. Of course, he still has chores, but this is no longer his chore. So why or how he managed to run out of room to put the clean dishes so that they could dry is beyond me. We have a dishwasher. The dishwasher is broken. I have not taken the time to try to discover if it can be repaired, and I am not going to invest the money to replace it, at least not right now. But that's what he decided to do, is put dishes in the dishwasher so that they could dry because he claims that he ran out of space. And you should have seen me trying to figure out where on earth these dishes were, because several of them I needed to prepare dinner. And that's the only reason why I realized that they were missing in the first place. I guess all that matters is that eventually I located those dishes. All of the dishes that he washed were in fact clean, and he was willing to take on that task while his mother was down and out for the count. And now it's time to get to cleaning. So that is what I did. I had my worship music pumping. I had my water. I had my coffee. I took sufficient breaks, but baby, I cleaned all day long. And when I had all the clean dishes put away, all of the counters and stove top wiped down, and I had those dishes soaking in the sink, I went ahead and seasoned my chicken and got it in the oven. Pro tip to juicy, succulent chicken breasts when you are roasting a whole chicken is not only the removal of the spine, but also roasting it breast side down. That ensures that all of the juices that are going to be at the bottom of your pan are constantly surrounding the chicken breast, the wing, and the other white meat. And then when you're ready to roast that chicken uncovered so that that chicken can get browned, you just pour some of that juice off, flip that chicken over, easy peasy. I just use 2 forks and then pop it back in the oven uncovered. With that accomplished, I decided to go ahead and get the first load of laundry going. That way it was doing its thing while I was downstairs cleaning. And of course, I had to go on a scavenger hunt for towels and washcloths because despite the fact that we now have this little pop-up bin, folks are still forgetting and putting the towels and the washcloths in their dirty clothes bins. And with that started and going, I headed back downstairs. Now, before I went upstairs, I put the pot of water on to boil for the macaroni and cheese. So that water was boiling when I came back. I went ahead and put my macaroni in the pot, cleaned that counter off yet again, and then got back to those dreaded dishes. Baby, when I tell you I was a multitasking phenomenon, okay? I was feeling about 85% better, and I wanted to get as much done as I possibly could before I needed to crash. Everybody kept saying, don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Baby, I am a Virgo. Telling me not to overdo it is like telling a cat not to meow. I'm going to do all that I can do while I can do it. And when I'm done, if I can't do another thing, then so be it. But laying around doing absolutely nothing was driving me crazy. Was I in pain? Yes. Did I keep going? Yes. Did I pay for it later? Yes. But was it worth it? Yes. Are there limitations to how much I'm willing to push myself and for how long? Yes, there are. I'm only going to do as much as I think I can actually do, as much as I believe that I can do, and be okay after I've done it all. And one of my very favorite words is no. I love the word no. Me and the word no have a very healthy, positive, mutually beneficial relationship. And I love that for us. And I personally am an equal opportunity no sayer. I will say no to any and everybody, including myself, without reservation. I don't feel bad saying no. I don't second guess saying no. I don't feel guilty for saying no. I am not ashamed for saying no. I don't stutter when I say no. I do not apologize for saying no. I often don't even explain my no's. I like to start my no's off with a capital letter and end them with a period because no is a complete sentence. Commercial break. Y'all see that macaroni and cheese? Oh, baby, that macaroni and cheese was macaroni and cheesing. And this is what I was talking about earlier. You pour off some of that juice, you take 2 forks, you flip that chicken over. Baby, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That chicken went back in the oven for about 40 to 45 minutes. And I went ahead and laid that macaroni and cheese out. Sometimes when I do my mac and cheese, I do a roux. Sometimes I don't. This time I did a roux. And that roux was well seasoned. So it was a little browner than it usually is, but it still was absolutely delicious. And my family ate every single bite of it. Now, back to what I was talking about. No, I love the word no. Why am I even bringing this up? Because one of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of people, a lot of mothers, a lot of women in general seem to have a hard time with the word no. They have a hard time saying no. They have a hard time hearing no. And believe me, I understand. I also don't like to hear the word no. I remember when I was a kid, I used to be afraid to ask my parents for things, especially my father. I don't know why, because my father was not often saying no, but I was always afraid to ask for anything or ask to do anything. And so in order to ask, I would have to hype myself up, give myself a whole lot of positive self-talk, and I would even have to do a countdown. Like I would come into the room and I would be like 3, 2, 1, daddy, can I? 3, 2, 1, daddy, can I? I would have to practice asking for whatever it was because me and the word no just did not have a good relationship. And then one day I realized that the worst somebody could say is no. No, it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to kill you. You are going to continue to live and breathe even after someone tells you no. It may not be what you want to hear, but if you are asking a yes or no question, that means the chances of hearing no are just as good as hearing yes. And being all up in arms because somebody has told you no is ridiculous. I have heard some of the most ludicrous arguments made by people who have a difficult relationship with the word no. I've heard people say things like, oh, but when they asked me, I didn't say no. And that was a choice that you made. And you had a right to make that choice. You had the right to decide to do whatever it was that they asked you to do. And guess what? Now it's their turn to decide, and they don't have to do it just because you did. I've heard people say, well, I didn't really want to do blah, 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 but I did it because I was hoping that we would have the type of relationship where when I needed a favor, that person would do me a favor as well. Well, that was wrong. You shouldn't have done that. You should have done it because you wanted to do it. You should not have done it with the idea that they might do something for you in return. Did you have a conversation with the person where you all made an agreement that if you did this for them today, they would return the favor by doing something for you in the future? Typically, the answer is no, because most people don't have those kinds of conversations. Many people enter into one-sided contracts and agreements with other people that those people aren't even aware of because they believe that it's a part of some unspoken social contract. I do you a favor, so you automatically are required to do me a favor. And that's just not really how this works at all. People absolutely get to tell you no matter how many times you've told them yes. If you have an expectation that because you've done something for someone, they are thus required to do something for you in return, then it's your responsibility to communicate that to them. And the sooner you realize that no one is obligated to do anything for you just because you did something for them, the easier it will be for you to say no. Not out of malice, not out of spite, solely out of self-preservation. You get to be tired and not feel like driving just because someone needs a ride. You get to be socially tapped out and decide that you don't want to attend a party just because somebody invited you. You get to opt out of having conversations that you're not interested in having.